Are we too beautiful for television?
It's just YouTube. You don't have to be that pretty for YouTube.
Oh, well, then you should fit right in.
Have you seen the uggos on there? We'll just let anyone on.
Hey, dolls, it's me, Wilma Fingerdoo, with another episode of the Fingerdoo Review. This week it is RuPaul's Drag Race All-Stars Season 9, Episode 4, the Makeover episode. And I am joined with my illegitimate drag daughter, Wilhelmina Box Farts. How are you, Wilhelmina?
I'm fabulous.
Happy Pride.
Happy Pride.
It's Pride Month. You got plans, dreams, hopes? What's going on?
Oh, just surviving.
Yeah.
Just surviving.
Yeah. I'm moving.
Oh, good for you. It's important to move every day. Just get those knees up. I feel sorry for whoever moves into this place and realizes that
no one's moving into this place.
A glitter bomb has gone off.
No, they're tearing the whole building down.
That's the best part. You know what? I think every time you should move out of a building, they should just immediately tear it down afterwards.
I'm going to leave a big steaming poo in the middle of the apartment.
Yeah. So...
I mean, I don't know where I'm going to get it from, but I'm going to leave it.
Well, move that one in the corner over to the middle. Just rearrange. I mean, move it out of the way while we're moving stuff out, but then...
Suddenly I have less pride. Suddenly I have less pride. How are you doing?
Yeah. How do I look?
So, this week...
Somebody ordered toast? Because there's an awful lot of crust around here.
What were we
this
talking
is
about?
kind of hilarious.
RuPaul's Drag Race All-Stars Season 9, Episode 4, the Makeover episode. Now, before we get this started, I just want to take a moment to thank this week's Tipperdoos, because I have Tipperdoos. Adequate Channel, Ashley Wilson, Pauline Moriarty, Paisley Polar Bear, and my Tipperdoo boyfriend, Vito. I love you, Vito. And on top of that, I also want to send a shout out to Michelle Sennett, who sent me a Tipperdoo as well, but also sent me this card. Have you seen these on Instagram?
Yeah.
People are putting these little faces on their animals. It's so funny. Anyway, Michelle, I want to thank you, you and Morton, for the card, and I'm so glad you're well and hale and happy. And I guess that's all I need to say.
That's all you need to say.
So we kick this episode off with the Queens congratulating Gottmik on her second win.
Congratulations, Gottmik.
Yeah, she did very well. And then Georges entered the room, and that Chihuahua seemed to have a touch of distemper.
Yeah, she declared war on Gottmik.
Yeah, well, revenge will be had, but I don't know if it'll be had by Georges. She's very little. It would take. She'd have to hire somebody just to get your attention, to look down.
Although if I was Georges, I think I would declare war on Gottmik, because I think that Gottmik's the only one that she could take on.
Yeah.
Everyone else is too big.
Too big.
Too big.
At least she's got a fighting chance with Gottmik.
That's big.
All. Yeah. Of course, they had to do a badge count because that's what you do.
Yeah.
And Gottmik has 2. Angie, Plastique, and Nina have 1 each, and that leaves Vanjie and Roxy and Chanel out in the cold.
Brr.
Once the tally had been summed up, well, there were some hurt feelings, and conspiracy debate started because they still had the 2 badges, one from Nina and one from Gottmik, to give back to another queen.
Ooh, they're going to get them.
Well,
are there any alliances, or are there just cliques? The word clique and clicky and click and clicky, it was just said far too many times. It was like a bunch of cicadas in that room.
Yeah. I think the idea of clique, I think it needs to involve more than 2 people.
Yeah, and I feel like what Chanel was noticing were friendships.
Yes.
Not cliques.
No, because Angie and Chanel seem to be getting along. Chanel and Nina are the oldest, so they kind of have to get along.
You have to get along, yeah.
Gottmik and Vanjie came into this season friends.
They already got along.
Yeah. So it's getting severe up in here. I'll tell you what, they're all starting to look for reasons to hate each other or to call foul. All I have to say is, if they were actually eliminating queens, can you imagine the tension?
Oh, the drama.
So the next day, Nina brought up that she and Gottmik still had their badges to give away, which of course brought the whole alliance debate back to the forefront again. And apparently this was fueled for Gottmik by the fact that she heard certain queens cheering Nina on during the lip sync.
It was very exciting when she was taking stuff off.
Well, they were just thrilled to see her giving it a go. No one thought she was going to win.
No, they're throwing her a bone.
Yeah.
Just a bone of support.
Yeah. And after that whole Russian doll presentation of mediocre dresses, I mean, I think it was very nice of them to cheer her on with some kind words because...
I thought it was generous.
Yeah.
Very generous.
Very generous. I mean, she had 8 dresses and not a one of them was...
So then RuPaul popped in and...
Broke it up.
Broke it up.
Yeah.
Stopped the drama. Made the girls give away their badges.
Yes.
Nina picked Roxy, which I thought was very nice.
I thought that was very nice. Well, she said that she helped her out during the sewing challenge, and I think that's an excellent reason.
Yeah, she said
you can't argue that reason.
She wanted to give it to a queen that didn't have a badge, and she was hemming and hawing between Roxy and Chanel, and yeah, I think Roxy was a good choice.
Yeah.
And then Gottmik gave hers to Vanjie. So...
Well, they're friends.
Yeah.
Where's she going to give it to?
They're friends.
She's not going to give it to Vanjie? That's going to make Christmas and Thanksgiving awkward.
Well, it's going to be so awkward.
Yeah.
So awkward.
Yeah. Of course, there's no cliques in the workroom.
There's no cliques.
No.
There's no cliques.
Actually, the clique really is that Chanel's the only one without a badge. Yeah. Everyone else is in. She's out. Yeah. Then, Ru said she wanted the queens to pair up into 2 pairs. Not like, oh, it's time for mini challenge. Oh, it's time for maxi challenge. None of that. Just pair up.
Just pair up.
Yeah.
No further information.
Yeah.
And the queens apparently got in their heads about it because they didn't want anyone to think that they were in a clique.
Yeah. Angie and Chanel made one team, and clearly that's, I think, the most that they have interacted with each other so far.
Yeah, it was nice that they finally got to meet.
Yeah. Team 2 was Plastique and Georges.
The shrieking team.
Yes. Roxy and Vanjie were team 3. And that left Gottmik and Nina together for the final team, which I thought was an interesting pair because they couldn't be more unlike each other. Gottmik and Nina.
And especially since they just competed against each other for the win.
Yes.
Is this a powerhouse team? What's going to come? What's happening? Very excited.
Well, maybe Gottmik was too mad at everyone else cheering Nina on to even think of teaming up with any of them. Bitter. And then Ru surprised the queens by bringing in 4 very handsome and lovely and delicious firefighters.
And Georges flooded her basement, which is unfortunate because firemen don't usually do stuff for floods.
No. I think Georges is a step away from putting on a snorkel at the best of times, though. I think it takes very little for her to flood anything, bless her heart. She's already so close to the floor.
I know. I thought she needed to put a towel down, though. You're going to slip. Someone's going to slip on that, Georges.
And the 4 firemen were Adam, Henri, Brad, Lee, and Nathan. And I knew it was the makeover thing, but the queens didn't. But when Ruth said it was, not just a makeover, it was a girls group challenge as well.
Girl group. You got to look like you're in the same girl group.
So the criteria for this makeover wasn't necessarily a family look because there were 2 queens involved. What it had to do with was them creating a girl group ensemble. They had to have cohesion and, I guess, perform well as a group.
Yeah, look like smoking hot pop stars.
Mm-hmm. And it didn't stop at the makeovers. The queens actually had to write and perform the song. They weren't just lip syncing to something. It was an original song, and it was called, for the firemen, Pussy on Fire.
Your pussy's up a tree. Hey, pussy.
I don't normally like the word pussy. It's just too wet sounding for me.
It really is. It's one of those things where I'm like, ugh,
but
pussy. I feel like only women should be allowed to use the word pussy. And then like someone said fat pussy at one point. Is that a compliment as a woman?
I don't know. It's not the same as a meaty tuck, I'm sure. It can't be.
And so in order to pick the groups, the queens didn't get to choose. They got to go on some speed dates with the firemen so that the firemen could pick out their queens.
I thought this was a great idea,
This was a great idea.
Yeah.
What a fun idea. Nina got lost in Nathan's eyes.
Well, who didn't? Vanjie started flirting immediately, but Roxy got down to it. I like that.
Yeah.
Like Vanjie seemed to be more like, so where are you from? And
Roxy like, do you have any skills?
Yeah. What can you do?
What can you do?
Yeah. Have you ever been in drag before? Can you walk in heels?
And Jiria and Chanel and Brad Lee all bonded over their pretty eyes.
Yes.
Nathan used to be a go-go dancer in gay bars, but as a straight boy. Adam has some kids, so I assumed he was straight, but that doesn't mean anything.
Yeah. Brad Lee, I never got the sense one way or the other from him, except that he seemed very inclusive. And one of the reasons why I thought Brad Lee was straight was when Roxy asked him if he did any dancing, he mentioned the electric slide.
Yeah.
I don't think that's a gay person's move.
It's a straight.
Yeah. The shorter answer for the "Can you dance" would have been no.
No.
But he said it's electric.
I can do the Cabbage Patch.
Well, you shouldn't.
Henri, definitely part of the family.
Nathan surprised Gottmik and Nina with his past as a go-go dancer in a gay bar, even though he is straight. And I have to say, straight boys who don't mind hanging out with gay men are the best.
Well, you can get
super fun.
So many tips. Are you kidding? A straight go-go dancer?
I think the point was, though, they were all super excited to be there, super interested, and to represent firemen, because it's a hard job.
I mean, they must know that we're all horny for firemen. I mean, it's no secret.
Well, those calendars don't sell themselves. They sell themselves, yeah.
They do. They
take your shirt
themselves
off, they sell themselves, yeah.
I'll never forget the one time my apartment building was on fire, and I did that thing where you like look outside and make sure this, is there really a fire? And people are like, no, there's flame shooting out of the building. So we all trotted out, and the firemen all pulled up, and a good 10 minutes after the fire department showed up, some lovely senior queen pranced out in his little gold lame, tiny little underwear. I was like, really?
Right? Yeah.
Really? I had time to grab my dog. I had time to grab my computer. I had time to grab some important things. And all he was doing was just changing into something that he thought the fireman might like.
So funny.
Good for you.
I think we can safely say that Chanel and Roxy were the two queens in the group who seemed to be focused on the task at hand, and everyone else just wanted to get pregnant.
Yeah.
Like you do.
So when all was said and done, Adam picked Roxy and Vanjie.
So he should.
Henri picked Plastique and Georges.
So he should.
Bradley picked Angeria and Chanel.
Yeah, well, the pretty eyes had to stick together. Now there's a clique.
Yeah, yeah, that's definitely a clique. And
I have to say, though, I think that when Bradley picked them, Angeria almost wet her pants.
I heard it. I heard it.
Yeah, there was a drip.
There's definitely a drip. Yeah. And then much to Nina's delight, Nathan picked her and Gottmik.
Yeah, she seemed to be very happy by that.
Very happy.
There was some awkward flirting where Nina was concerned.
I assume every time Nina flirts with you, it's going to be awkward.
Awkward, yeah. She's a big girl. She's not going to take no for an answer.
No.
I know I don't.
No. So Roxy pointed out that she actually won her last makeover challenge.
She did, yeah.
So she was very excited. She's like, I know exactly what the judges need. She had a vision in pink in her mind. Vanjie liked to point out that she almost won her makeover challenge, which doesn't count. No. And then she surprised me by saying that she'd never won a challenge.
It's true. It's true.
Shocked.
One thing that was impressive to me was that Roxy seemed to have brought 3 costumes half done.
3 costumes half done.
They weren't finished. They were kind of cut out, which left a lot of alteration room and stuff. So that was very smart on her part. I mean, as a sewer, I think I would do that too. If part of the package for me getting ready for Drag Race was you need to be in a girl group with 2 other people, I'd bring extra clothes.
Oh, absolutely. It sounded like she brought extra fabric as well. So.
Speaking of extra clothes, I felt that Chanel, like a true Vegas queen, had way too much, and none of it really went together.
That was scaring me a little bit when Chanel started to pull stuff out. Because Angeria said that she was going to take care of the lyrics.
Yeah.
And she was going to let Chanel take care of the looks.
Style the look, yeah.
I'm like, okay.
And why not? Cool. I mean, just based on her makeup alone.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I would have had Chanel do the makeup for sure.
Yeah. If I had to pick a queen to put makeup on my face, Chanel would be at the top of that list.
Hands down.
Yeah. As long as I don't have to talk to her or listen to her.
As long as she doesn't talk to me. It's fine. Plastique and Georges settled on a Powerpuff Girls / anime.
What else were they going to do? Which, of course, left Gottmik and Nina. Now, there couldn't have been 2 different queens paired together.
Although, if you combine the lurchness and giantness of Nina with the svelteness and tininess of Gottmik, I think you would meet in the middle and you would end up with the handsome, burly Nathan.
Yeah.
That seemed to make sense.
Yeah, I think as a group they were good together, but when Nina started breaking out all that 60s clothing, I think I reacted before I saw Gottmik's reaction.
Oh, and Gottmik had a reaction. Like, how are we gonna combine our 2 aesthetics?
Well, Gottmik's also she's got a great aesthetic, and she's got a great sense of style.
Yeah.
And she's also very artistic. And I don't think that those things are adjectives I would put with Nina. Not that there's anything wrong with that.
No, not at all. No. Yeah, Gottmik is a drag artist.
Yeah.
And Nina is a drag queen. And I think it's harder for an artist to change their aesthetic and their style because they've got such a strong point of view. So I was very intrigued with what they were going to come up with. Although, honestly, as soon as Nathan took his shirt off, I stopped paying attention to anything.
Him in a corset with all those muscles and chest hair and everything was delicious.
Tasty.
And I have to say, I love that Gottmik took that masculine energy from him visually and was able to channel it into not only her drag, but Nina's as well. Because I think when they were all said and done, they ended up with a very cohesive look.
They really did. Yeah.
But I'm getting ahead of myself.
We're getting ahead of ourselves.
While the queens were getting to know each other, I was super thrilled to hear that Adam, not only is a dad, but a dad of a non-binary child.
A pansexual daughter.
Yes.
And a trans man son-in-law. Is what
you don't get more inclusive than that.
So then the queens marched off to the stage to work on their choreo. Nathan showed off his go-go moves, which is very exciting.
And they were good. So he should show them off. They were fun. At least he could move. That was the thing.
He had some moves. Yeah, it was great. Bradley's dinner plate hands.
Oh my gosh.
Threw off
the meat hooks. Yeah.
I did not notice how big they were until Chanel. It's like, hold it up against your face like this. And I was like, oh no, don't do that. Don't do that.
It's very big.
Oh no, hide those. Do we have gloves?
Yeah.
Do we have gloves for these? Yeah. That was a bit alarming.
But you know what they say about big hands?
Big gloves.
Yeah. Mean grip.
Wide nostril.
I felt kind of bad for Bradley because, well, he clearly, high heels were not his friend.
No.
And he looked like he was in fear of falling over. And he's very tall. And when you're very tall, that's a long way to fall.
A long way to go. Yeah, Adam definitely looked a little stiff and uncomfortable up there as well.
Yeah, when Roxy said, "Oh, I don't care," and I nearly lost my mind. That was so funny.
Yeah. Henri seemed a little thrown off by the choreo that he was being thrown by Plastique and Georges, but
they're both movers. They're not necessarily dancers. So for them to translate what they're feeling from the music into words that help somebody else match what they're doing, it's not their forte.
No. Yeah, I was feeling a little nervous for Henri at that point.
Yeah. I have to say, for the most part, for a bunch of firemen, I thought they were doing pretty good so far.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm always amazed that anyone can walk in high heels at all. So if you can pick up some choreo in those heels without falling over,
I think it also helped that each fireman had two queens helping.
Yeah, so one on each side to hold their elbows so they don't fall over.
Spot them, yeah.
It's nice to have some spotters. Although if George is...
Yeah, what are you going to do?
If you fall down on George's...
Yeah, you're just going to kill her.
Oh, no, she's just going to get crushed. You're not even going to notice.
Yeah.
You're like, what was that sound?
Yeah, because everyone around her is so Brogdagnaggity.
Wow.
I know.
Look at you, Jonathan Swift.
I can't help it.
Is that who wrote that?
Yeah, Gulliver's Travels. Yeah.
We're so educated.
Yeah. Read a book, children. From Auntie Wilma to you. Read a book. And before we knew it, it was the makeover day itself. I love watching these transformations.
It's so much fun. Nathan shaved his chest off. Henri shaved his eyebrows off.
God.
Which I thought was...
What a trooper.
What a trooper.
And then it was time for the runway. Rue looked spectacular again.
Yeah.
This wig was stunning.
The wig was stunning. He borrowed a dress from Tasha Salad.
Michelle looked good.
Yeah,
Ross was back in a blousey blouse.
Did a very funny Basic Instinct gag with
that was very
with the
funny.
leg,
that was very funny.
I LOL'd at that.
He enjoyed it the most, though. Yeah. He did it twice. That's how much he enjoyed it.
And then Rue introduced the guest judges this week, TJ and John, the brothers Osborne.
So exciting.
As opposed to the Osborne brothers.
Oh, yeah, no, don't confuse it.
Yeah, no. They're dead, and they did bluegrass.
If you've never heard of the Osborne brothers, you're fine.
Yeah. The brothers Osborne are country and western musicians, which meant that I had no idea who they were.
No, but TJ...
gay.
Is the gay brother. They're brothers.
You could tell by looking at them.
Well, he had a better haircut. He looked cuter in his jacket.
He was groomed.
He wasn't wearing a cowboy hat.
He looked very handsome.
The only way you wear a cowboy hat as a gay man is without a shirt.
Yeah.
They were both lovely.
Yeah.
I think they're going to get a huge bump in their listenership after this.
Somewhere I thought you were going with that one.
I know. You're such a pig.
So then it was time for the runway where they did. It was nice. I liked it because they brought all the groups out so you could enjoy the makeover, and then everyone came out to perform the song.
Yeah.
En masse. I like that it was just one big
number.
song, one big number. They all just sort of came out, had their moments, and then came together at the end.
Yeah.
So first down the runway in Pepto-Bismol pink, the hoses.
Yeah.
Vanjie, Roxy Andrews, and Valerie Valentine.
What did we think of this look?
I thought Valerie looked good.
Valerie looked great.
I wasn't a fan of the looks themselves, but I thought Valerie looked. I thought she looked real good.
The pink fabric was lovely, but the nude sparkly netting was just too much of an afterthought to me. It just didn't. I wish it had been any other color than nude. It just seemed to just lay on top of the pink fabric. You know,
it
even
didn't seem to work on Roxy especially.
That one cape arm.
Yeah, I felt like she put it on because she's like, well, I need to. We all need to match. Like we put it on Valerie so we could hide his meaty tuck.
Yeah, and Vanjie had it as a top, which worked. But again, still, if it had been any other color, I think I wouldn't have minded it so much. Like if it had been pink as well, but still,
pink on pink.
They all were wearing the same thing.
Two on the pink.
You never know.
It's a lot of pink.
Yeah, you're gonna put pink together. You might as well put it in a group. As far as the hoses look goes, I'm gonna have to give them a finger don't. Sorry, the nude fabric was just too much of a distraction for me. There you go. Not that they look bad; they look great. They're just
not for you.
It's all stars. It's all stars. The bar is high.
Second down the runway to show off their looks, Meow Meow Mix.
Oh my goodness! I'm normally not a huge fan of like an anime theme costume, just because I'm not a fan of anime. It's not that I don't like it. I'm not sure I'm understanding what I'm seeing or whatever.
You don't like the Powerpuff Girls?
I've never seen the Powerpuff Girls.
You've never seen the Powerpuff Girls?
I know who they are. I recognize them in nature. I've just never seen their show. Yeah.
What's wrong with you?
I don't care.
Do you know how good the Powerpuff Girls is?
I don't care.
So good.
I'm busy watching Murder, She Wrote. Do you see why I don't watch the Powerpuff Girls?
Now I want to see Angela Lansbury as a Powerpuff Girl.
Oh, she'd be great. What would her name be?
Forgetful.
First of all, Plastique looked the best. She really did.
Oh, yeah. I had no doubt in my mind that she was going to look gorgeous.
Yeah, Georgia's look great because she always looks great. She's 3 pounds. 3 pounds always looks great.
Yeah. Just 3 stripes of makeup and you're done.
Angelique. Oh my God. If you had asked me which of these 3 has never done drag before, I still wouldn't have picked Angelique.
No.
She looked amazing.
She looked amazing. Her mug was amazing.
The costume fit her well. The makeup was flawless. Those cheekbones, gee whiz. And she was feeling it.
She the confidence.
You couldn't tell her nothing in that outfit. Yeah.
She looked like she belonged there. I loved their whole runway.
You liked their what?
Their whole runway. Pausing. I see what it is. The pausing.
It's not where you would take a breath.
This would confuse you.
You take a breath at the end of the sentence.
Yeah, you take
in the middle. Unless there's a comma.
Yeah, you take a breath at the end of the hole.
Not a big breath. With your mouth. Clearly, the Pussycat hose got a Fingerdoo from me.
The Meow Meow Mix.
The Meow Meow Mix got a Fingerdoo from me.
186 tries to get that name. 186 tries for Wilma to get that name out of her mouth. Next down the runway, the Pussycat hose, featuring Angeria Chanel and Natasha Bradley.
Natasha looked gorgeous. The makeup was flawless because Chanel did it.
The makeup looked amazing.
Even Angeria clearly copied what Chanel was doing because she matched the makeup up beautifully.
Yeah, their mugs looked great. Their outfits, I was a bit confused by because Natasha looked
like
she was...
There were 2 things going on.
Yeah, Natasha was from a different group.
Yeah, well, from a different... time and space.
From the future. She was from the future.
Yeah.
Chanel was from the distant past, also known as her childhood. Yeah. And then Angeria was just happy to be there. Yeah, I was confused by clearly they were trying to focus on Natasha, but when 2 of you have like pink feathers on and one of you doesn't, it's
weird.
It's weird.
Well, clearly they had 2 outfits that went together, and one of these things just doesn't belong here. Yeah, it was... not that I didn't like what Natasha had on.
I thought it was eating her neck, though. I thought it was a little...
Whatever breathing room. It needed to be open here because it was too much.
Or maybe it was like to help Maybe the wig was really heavy, and that was just to help her keep her head up
from snapping her neck.
Oh, from the heavy wig.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do?
Yeah. But they look great. But I am still going to give this group a Fingerdoo. No offense, everyone looked great, but even Chanel didn't look like she was in that group. There was 3 different things going on, and the only thing that Chanel and Angie had going for them were those pink feathers.
Last but not least, the Hose Draggers.
Best name ever.
Best name ever.
Best name ever. I would buy an album, even if it was horrible, from the Hose Draggers.
From the Hose Draggers? Yeah. The Hose Draggers featured Nina, Gottmik, and Anita Blaze.
I was very impressed with this makeover.
I was very impressed.
This was the makeover I was the most worried for, only because there were so many factors that had to come together, and they did well. Nina's outfits look good on them.
Nina's outfit looks great on them. There was the Gottmik nod to the dark hair, so everyone had some nice dark wigs.
And yet still Nina had clearly a 60s flip. There was something very 60s or period about Anita Blaze. It was a beautiful wig on her. And then Gottmik still had her signature Ultra look, but it worked with everyone.
They all look great.
They just look great. So I was very impressed. I give their group a Fingerdoo as well.
So after we got a chance to ogle the girl group's outfits, they all came out to perform Pussy on Fire.
I love this song. It was so much fun.
It was very catchy.
Yeah.
It was very catchy.
Yeah.
Don't
sing. Don't do it. Don't do it. Oh, gosh. So the first group to hit the stage were the Hoses, and I have to say Valerie Valentine did a great job for somebody who looked like they were scared for their lives to fall down.
Oh yeah, for someone who was, needed an oil can during rehearsals, I thought they did a good job of kind of giving her choreo she could do.
It was simple choreo that
star.
looked good.
Yeah.
Yeah, and even though she seemed a little stiff, she kept up with the hairography.
Because
those are hairography queens.
So that wig was not.
Nobody lost their wig.
Yeah, the lyrics I don't really remember much of the lyrics. Something about juicy thighs and catch me outside.
Yeah. But all in all,
lyrics.
Short of them fussing with their skirts, it was fantastic.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah, the skirts riding up was very distracting to me. Yeah.
I give that whole performance a Fingerdoo.
Fingerdoo. Yeah. Next to hit the stage, Meow Meow Mix, George's Plastique, and featuring Angelique.
She looked like she was at home.
She looked like she was supposed to be there. She was so smooth. I mean, they again did a good job of doing the most complicated choreo on the side, so that they could showcase Angelique and also have her not learn all the moves.
Angelique did a lot of freestyling, which helped, but also I feel like there was good choreo off the top of their set, but then it was really down to just bopping to the rhythm. Like
just kind of grooving.
The choreo fell away from what they were doing, but it certainly, they didn't suffer by it.
No, they didn't at all. And again, I couldn't tell you what the lyrics were.
No,
I don't remember any of the lyrics.
It was, they rapped and it was
like,
fine.
Hide your boys, hide your menses, maybe something.
I don't know.
Hide things on a high shelf so Georges can't reach them. Something like that.
Something like that. Either way, they still got a Fingerdoo for me for performance. I thought, again, it was down to Angelique being fierce. Well done. Next were the Pussycat Hose with Natasha, and they did well. Natasha was very stiff. Also, I found her crotch distracting. It looked to me like they put the costume around her crotch as opposed to making her crotch fit into the costume. She just had a long pelvis, and when she did a spin, it was like, oh, there's a lot of stuff going on there.
A lot of pelvis.
But she looked good. The lyrics, I don't really remember a lot of what they were singing about.
The lyrics was an ode to feline interstitial cystitis, I believe. They were a little on the nose for Pussy on Fire. Yeah. I guess Angie wrote these lyrics. So a little sassy, a little crude,
better than what Chanel would have written.
Yeah. It was just a little
Fingerdoo, but they weren't my favorite.
Not my favorite. Yeah. Natasha looked like she was having the time of her life.
The best time.
She looked like she was having
as stiff as she was and as awkward as her moves seemed to be. She was selling it from the neck up.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. But I think Natasha often has fun when she's stiff. The final group to hit the runway, the Hose Draggers.
They killed this.
They killed this. I knew Anita was going to be able to dance.
Yes.
But the performance was fantastic. Gottmik's idea to play into her masculinity was the smartest move that they made, because trying to hide that man under drag would have been foolishness. So having her flex and do her moves was just quite delicious. But I thought for me, they were the group that looked the most and performed the most like a group together.
Also the lyrics, they were the one group where they, like, right away when Nina said, "Call me Quasimodo, I'm about to ring your bell."
So smart, so funny. They all sounded like themselves. It made perfect sense to me. So I thoroughly enjoyed this performance, even knowing that, Anita was going to be a good dancer.
Yeah.
Despite that, I thought they all did a fantastic job.
Yeah, I gave the hose draggers 2 Fingerdoos.
Fingerdoos.
Yes, you heard me. And of course, the big finale of the number was all the acts out on stage. And I just have to say, the makeover challenges are my favorite because the people that are involved are clearly living their best lives. They want to be there. They want to experience this. They're experiencing this with some of the best queens, especially it's an all-star season.
Yeah, if you're gonna get your first drag makeover, get it from an all-star.
Get an all-star. Yeah. Otherwise, you end up.
That was
I'm a star.
Phone.
I'm not an all-star.
It's a cell phone. You gave me my first drag makeover. Pork chop.
Still happening. So after the judges judged and there were laughs and tears and all of that, it was announced that the top group of the week were the hoses.
Gasp!
I was surprised. That's surprised. Actually, I think I clutched pearls. It's not that I didn't think they didn't look good or didn't do a good job. I really thought, for some reason or another, that the hose draggers were going to win.
I thought it was going to be down to the hose draggers or Meow Meow Mix.
It was definitely, those were the top 2 for sure.
Those were my top 2. But then as soon as the judges started judging and they just gushed over the hoses, I was like, well, I rewound so I could watch it again. I was like, did I miss something?
Yeah. One of the comments that was made regarding the Pussycat hose was that they didn't look like a girl group. And I understand what they were saying, and I do understand that was part of the task, but the Spice Girls didn't look like they were in the same group. Like, I didn't buy that.
And even the Meow Meow Mix, they were like, well, you don't look like a girl group. It's like, sure you do. They all look
they
like...
Totally
they all
did.
Look like they should have been on stage together at the same time.
They totally did. The difference in their costumes was just color. Yeah. They almost exactly had the same thing on.
Because Michelle's like, well, other than the names, I was like, well, and a lot of other stuff that's going on.
Well, the furry leg warmers.
Michelle. Yeah, but Roxy was right. She knew what they wanted.
She clearly knew what they wanted and gave it to them.
She wanted three people wearing variations of the same thing. That's what they want.
Yeah.
Same color, same palette. That's what they want.
Done. And so, ironically, both Vanjie and Roxy went from no badges last week to 2 badges in the same episode.
Ooh.
So it came down to the lip sync, and I was so excited for this lip sync.
I was so excited for this lip sync. I was a bit confused when both queens came out wearing comforters or duvets.
Right.
One, Vanjie, you couldn't
I
see
like
her because she was
that
camouflage.
Comforter that Vanjie was wearing, the camouflage comforter, that looked good on her. Like, that looked like something she'd wear anyway. You know what I mean?
It's just one of those things where they both came out and you're like, oh.
Cover-ups.
Are we doing a
cover-ups? Yeah.
So they got to lip sync to Janet Jackson's Black Cat.
Excellent song. Excellent choice, especially for these 2 performers, because they're hair-centric performers. Yeah. They're strong performers. They don't shy away. They like to shake everything they've got, and they did. After
Roxy doffed her cover-up, she was looking like a very tasty Shania Twain who'd fallen asleep in her tanning booth while she was having some snacks, but ain't nothing wrong with that. Ain't nothing wrong with thick and juicy Shania Twain.
Leopard print. No, there you go. Yeah, no, she looked gorgeous. Like, that's a lot of normally that's a lot of fabric for one person to be wearing at any time. But she wore the hell out of it.
She wore the hell out of it.
And she had that intricate hair flip going on. She worked her arm capes. You couldn't tell her nothing.
Not a thing.
Nothing.
Vanjie doffed her camouflage duvet and was doing a little rocker / schoolgirl / punky.
She knows where the best place to smoke cigarettes at school is. Yeah.
Yeah, and she'll put them out on your forehead. Every time Vanjie performs, I'm just blown away by
I keep forgetting how brilliant she is.
Yeah. Just the connection in her eyes when she's staring down those judges.
She is not shy. No.
Yeah, because she has no focus any other time.
Otherwise.
So watching her be so laser focused on the stage.
She could be talking to you and looking to see if someone's coming in the door. She doesn't, she's
what a
not.
Fantastic.
And that wig, I just want to talk about her wig for just a brief second.
Let's talk about it.
The way it moved, like every time she walked, it bounced. Like the curl in it was just exquisite. And both of them shook the hell out of those wigs. They weren't going nowhere.
Yeah, this was a good lip sync.
Yeah. And I was so pleased. And the only thing that made me happier was that Ru announced that it was a tie. They had both won, that no one was going to not get money for their charity. And you didn't like that?
I'm not saying take money away from the charities.
No.
I just said, no, I like a tie. I don't like a tie unless it's like, you just had the most ridiculous, like you're giving the performance a standing ovation in your living room.
Yeah. I don't know. I think when it comes to the makeovers too, like if this had been a regular season of Drag Race, it wouldn't be about two queens lip syncing for the win. It would have been for somebody to go home.
Yeah, but they probably would have lip synced and then would have been like, no one's going home. Yay. So
but I like that for the makeover. For me, because you're making over, so you don't want somebody who's been a part of the whole process to feel bad that you went home making them over.
My ugly face got them sent home.
Yeah.
I also thought it was nice that they gave all the firefighters $1,000 to donate to the charity of their choice.
Well, it couldn't have been 10. Like that was a lot of work. I don't know. $1,000 for any charity is well received, but there's still a level of like, how much money did you make last year, RuPaul? She could have slipped them 5.
Something.
No one's asking for the whole 10.
No.
The thing that was interesting with the tie, I thought that there would be 2 snips to give away.
I wanted there to be 2 snips.
2 ruby snippers? No, they had to give the ruby snippers as a duo.
They had to agree on a snip.
Yeah, and I mean, because there were 2 of them, they couldn't give it to Nina because Nina had given Roxy badge last week.
Although I thought they were going to for a second. I was like, oh,
there was a minute there. Yeah. I thought for sure, regardless of Angie getting a badge from Gottmik, that they were going to give it to Gottmik because Gottmik is the only other queen with 2.
I would have snipped Gottmik.
I would have totally snipped Gottmik.
I didn't think Angie was going to do it.
No, she wasn't. And because Roxy's
the teammate,
like, she couldn't do it either. So the only recourse was for Vanjie to support Roxy in her vendetta against Angie.
Revenge!
And I feel bad that Angie got the badge again, but...
I would have felt worse if they snipped Chanel.
Oh, God, poor Chanel.
There's no badges, like we're going to snip you. And I don't think anyone... Yeah, snipping Georges again would have been...
Unnecessary.
Yeah, unnecessary.
No,
so,
she's not winning
sorry,
anything.
Angie. Yeah. Remember when you said it was a compliment?
Yeah.
The compliment.
You are the most threatening queen.
Take the compliment.
Also, they ain't scared of you in the parking lot.
No, they're not scared.
No. So there you go. That was episode 4. What do you think? Do you think the right queens got the win? Do you think it should have been someone else like we do? Let me know down below in the comments. Also, if you haven't, please give this video a like if you liked it. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't. And if you would like to support the Fingerdoo review, leave a comment. I answer everything. She's busy. I let her know which ones to answer. Of course, if you'd like to support the Fingerdoo review even more, you can leave a tipperdoo through the YouTube thanks button, which is located just below the screen, or in the description box down below, I have a link to my old school PayPal tipperdoo account, as well as a link to my Redbubble store where you can get some fabulous Wilma merch. We sold one of your t-shirts.
No.
Yeah, which was designed by Lar D'Souza. It is my favorite.
It's my favorite of the Lar D'Souza. Thank you, Lar. It's amazing.
Yeah. And finally, there's a link to my Patreon page, which is where the Fingerdoo family meet twice a month for live chats. There we go. That's all she wrote. Until next week, stay healthy, stay happy, and miss us. Mwah! Seriously.
It's
a lot of work. It's a lot of work judging the judges.
Oh, God, yeah. I mean, they gave us a lot to judge.
Not like Michelle was on.
Not like Michelle, no.
No one's going after Michelle.
I'm not touching Michelle.
No.
Are you kidding?
Do you know where she's been? Do you know where she's been?
I'm not scared of Ross Matthews.
No.
No, one little bit. Like, where did that leg come from?
I think he just
travels with
sex
room?
I just think he has it. I just think just in case. He lures people into the loo with him. He just pokes it out of the bathroom door. Need help straightening my seams.
My cankles are showing.
Once you're in the bathroom when you get stuck, you say no.
You're in the bathroom. Yeah. What are you going to do? Let's go along.